Hello, champions. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to day 23. Today, we are going to talk about setting up your donor newsletter. Before we jump into that, I'm going to introduce myself for those who might not be familiar with the brand. My name is Omotola the Great. I am the lead consultant here at the Funding Magnet, where we are on a mission to aid at least 1,000 nonprofits to fully fund their mission. We believe that you don't have to go broke to make a difference and that you can make a living while making a difference. We believe that you have all it takes to fully fund your nonprofit and that you can go from self-funding to being fully funded. And so I've been going over this series in the sense of answering questions that people have asked regarding different topics when it comes to starting a nonprofit, growing a nonprofit, funding a nonprofit, getting your team for your nonprofit, and other things as that. And so today is going to be focused on setting up your donor newsletter and how you can ensure that can help you to connect and communicate with the potential supporters and individuals and partners that can help you to ensure that they can give to your organization and support the work that you do. And so today we're just going to dive in. So what do we mean by donors newsletter? So a lot of people, they do a good job of asking people for money, asking people for support, asking people to volunteer. But most of the time, a lot of nonprofits drop the ball when it comes to engaging those people after they've asked, after they've given to you, after they volunteer their time and their talent to support your work. And so I want to focus on this issue around ensuring that after people have given to you, how do you still nurture and steward the relationship? It should not end at them giving and you saying thank you and giving them their receipt. Even some of you forget to even give the receipt, which is very, very bad. Like I said before in my previous live, your goal is not to do a one-night stand with your potential, with the donors. Your goal is to cultivate a relationship that lasts a long time, not just a one-night stand. And so in order for you to stop this habit of doing one-night stand kind of relationship with your donors, that's why you need a donor newsletter. And so what is a donor newsletter? A donor newsletter is an email that goes out either weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, where you update your donors and supporters and partners on what you've done. You update them on what you've been able to accomplish, how you have been able to change life and save life. It doesn't have to be more than a page. At most 2 pages, that's what you should shoot for, but no more than 2 pages. And this is where you tell the story. Think of it like a newspaper. You've seen a newspaper before, or a magazine. And so when you look at that, it's not just all about words alone. So your donor newsletter should be made up of a combination of written words, pictures, and even sometimes maybe a short clip that people can definitely use and click on and they can get the information that you need. But even before that, it's so important that your newsletter has a combination of data. You need data. Like, what's the data? How many people did you help this quarter? How many people did you help last month? How many people did you help this month? And so you need the data to say, okay, we had over 500 people that needed our services and we're able to provide 250 with the services. This is what we did. This is the result that we got. And this is the why we have what we have right now. And so it's very important that you take the time to look at your data to say, okay, and again, it doesn't have to be a lot. Like I said, 1 page. Imagine it if you have a A4 paper and you already have like 1 or 2 pictures, and then you have a place for just like caption for each of the picture, you're good to go. And so what you do is summarize what went well that month for your organization and how you're able to make a difference and really change the life of people for good. And so it's very important that you take the time to really look at your data to say, okay, what did we do? What did we achieve? This was our mission. This was our vision. This was our objective this month or this quarter. What did we achieve? And what do we need to report to these donors and supporters that have been able to invest in the impact that we are making? This is how they've been able to support us and render us the things that we need, the resources that we need to be able to do this work. And so having your data is very key. Another thing that you need to know is to also have an heartwarming story. Like, so yes, you've helped a lot of people, but I want you to come up with, like, out of all the people you've helped, which of the story was the most impactful that you would like to share. And you don't necessarily have to use the person's real name or real picture. If it's possible, yes, great. But if not, just get a picture of, like, maybe the situation going on around. And so telling an heartwarming story to say, you know what, let us tell you about Sarah, let us tell you about John, let us tell you about this particular family. Because of what you did, because of your giving, this is how we've been able to save the life of this family or change their life for good. And so the story will get people to move to action. They will get to feel that connection with your organization. And even though they were not there, even though they didn't lift their hand beyond just giving money to you, it's made a difference. It's changed somebody's life. It saved somebody's life. It transformed somebody's future. And so that help you to, like, increase the connection that they have with your organization. But if you do one night stand and you don't even follow up, you don't give them an update, and then you come back 6 months, 3 months later and ask them for money again, they will not be willing to give to you. Even if they have the money, and they will say, last time I gave to this person, they didn't give me anything back. And so because of that, they're not going to give you their money. And so having a donor newsletter is very important to carry your donors along, to say, you know what, this is what we do, this is what we did, and this is how we help, and this is how we can save a life or affect the community for good. And so it's very, very important that you take the time to map out your donor newsletter. And so these are some things that you can use when you are doing your newsletter. So it's not when you tell them about your mission and your vision. Already we can go on your website for that. And so when you're creating your donor newsletter, first and foremost, identify the hero. And the hero should always be your donors, should always be your supporters and your partners. And so those are the heroes. So identify the heroes to say, you made it happen. Thank you. Because of you, we have been able to transform the life of 100 people, 200 people, 500 people, 500, 10 people, 50 students, whatever the number is. And then also describe the situation. Describe the before your implementation of the solution. What was the before of this particular individual? What was the before of this particular family or community? And then what was the issue? What were the things that you had to solve? What were the issues, the challenges that they were facing? And then after that, who is the villain? Is he a disease? Is he a lack of resources in the community? And then also, what will it take to defend that villain? And so that's where you're telling them about, okay, this is the solution we have. This is the issue. The villain is lack of access to educational opportunity. And now the solution is through the influence of the donation that you've given us, we are able to now make a difference by providing these people with this, and that. And so, and then how can they help you? So this is where you do a call to action. Have to say, you know what, you can. The work is still great in this community. There are over 1 million students that lack access to opportunity. Right now, yes, this month we're able to help 250, but we still have a long way to go. Will you consider donating or giving to our organization? Or will you consider sharing to your friends and family and helping us to be a fundraising captain that can bring more people who care about the work that we do to more people who can give and also provide access to opportunity and resources, whether cash or in kind, to the people that we serve. And so it's very important that you create this kind of newsletter and that you send it out frequently. Don't just do it one time and forget about it. As much as possible, create a schedule where you can send it out every single month at least, and then you know that, okay, every first week, every first Tuesday of each month, they get a newsletter from you, or every Friday of the first week of each month, they get a newsletter for you, or the last Friday of each month they get a letter from you, or the last Saturday, the last Monday, whatever day of the week. But you need to be consistent and make it like a habit, a routine, that they know that, okay, we are going to hear from this organization at least once a month, whether it's the first, second, third, fourth week of the month, you're going to hear from you. Also, another thing you can do is to make it easy in terms of like make the newsletter something that they can click on, where it can take them to your website or to your giving page as well. And so what do you need in order to set up your newsletter? And so there are different email software that you can use as you go forward. And so one of them is MailChimp. And so MailChimp is a very easy to use sort of like email list provider, where you can get up to $2,500 people free. You don't have to pay for it. Usually I think it starts from $10 per month, but even you don't have to get there. Most of you don't have up to 2,500 people in your email list anyway. But with MailChimp, you can get up to 2,500 email to send your newsletter to freely. And so they have a lot of templates that you can use to design yours. You can put your logo there, you can customize it to the color of your organization, and so that it's on brand for you as well. Another one that you can use that is also free to start with is called MailerLite. And with MailerLite, it's 1,000 email address that you are giving freely. Then after that, I think it's about $12 or $15 per month for you to like subscribe to it if you have more than 1,000 people on your email list. And but like I bet it majority of you don't have up to 1,000 people on your email list anyway. So you can start with MailerLite. It's also very easy to use as well, and the rate of opening is also higher. I use MailerLite for my own email list. I used to use MailChimp, but now I've transitioned to MailerLite. And so those are the two email list provider that you can get started with. And so all you just have to do is go on Google and type in MailChimp or type in MailerLite, and you should be able to get the free trial that lets you have up to either 2,005 for MailerLite or 1,000 for MailChimp and 1,000 for MailerLite. And so get started, trick with it. There are YouTube videos that you can go watch on how to set up a newsletter, how to set up your email list in any of this platform. And so take about 10 to 30 minutes to really just invest in it. And I promise you, by investing in being able to create your email list and build the consistency of connecting and having conversation with those donors or potential donors or sponsors and volunteer, it's going to go a long way in helping to build loyal fans. So you move them from being strangers to people who can actually support your work. So the question is, how do you get people to sign up for your email list? So you can start with your social media pages, like put the link to your mailing list on your profile as much as possible, and encourage people to say, you know what, join our email list. That can be your call to action every single day, to say, click the link in the bio to join our email list to get updated about how we're changing lives, saving lives, and transforming community for good. And so if you can use that call to action over and over again, the chance of getting people to support your work and follow you is going to be very high as well. And so it's very, very important that you take the time to not just create the email list, but you need to drive traffic to it. Because if you have an email list and there's nobody on it, then it doesn't help. And then when you have programs, when you do programs in your community, always have a sign-in sheet where people can put their name, their email address, and their phone number if possible. And so you can now transfer those things on paper into the digital form, where you can keep it in your email list and use that to like follow up with people after the event and explain to them what you've done and how you're making a difference in the world as well. And so if you're able to do all of these things, it's going to put you a step forward in being able to cultivate and steward the current donors that you have, and even potential donors that are yet to come as you go forward as well. So I hope that you find this helpful, and I hope that you're able to implement. Like I said, knowledge is not power, it is implemented or applied knowledge. That is where the power is. And so please go and implement, go try it. And if you have a specific question relating to your own organization, do not hesitate to send us a DM or message us. We are here for you. It takes us 24 to 48 hours, but we are going to respond to you any of your questions as well. Before I leave, I would like to invite you for the free masterclass that is happening on April 5th at 12:30 Central Time, and that will be 6:30 West African Time. It's free for you to show up, but there is no replay. This is all about the fully funded plan. I'm going to give you the 5 framework that you need in order to fully fund your vision and your mission for your organization. Also, if you're interested, we have free and paid classes in our digital academy. So click the link in the bio and click on learn more about TFM Digital Academy, and it will take you to a place where so when you click the link in the bio, you can take it to our digital academy as well. And so they are free and there are some paid courses. And I promise you, if you invest it, you're going to be times 10, times 100 of what you invested in it if you take the time to invest in it as well. Again, if you have specific questions that you have about your nonprofit, starting it, running it, growing it, funding it, creating team, or even if you just need help with training your team, please reach out to us. We are always just one DM away, and we are looking forward to supporting you and helping you to help you bring forth all the things that you need to be able to make a difference in the way that you want this year as well. Until next time, keep doing good. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, and we're going to keep on this series as well. Bye, everyone.